Is the world as dangerous as the media makes it out to be? It depends. In most cases, I would say no, but with one big caveat, and that is you actually need to know how to stay safe while traveling, as in you need to know the actual steps you need to take. There are some precautions you need to take while traveling that you just don't think about in normal life at home. You can either learn these travel safety tips the hard way, or you can just watch this video and prevent bad things from happening in the first place. And yes, I am limping right now because I didn't follow one of my own tips. I'll share that one with you at the end, and just don't be like me. Tip number one is before traveling to a new country, always research the common scams in that country. For example, we just got back from Morocco, where there are tons of common scams that you need to look out for. For example, one of them is the ladies will try to draw henna tattoos on your arms, and they'll say that it's completely free, and then they'll ask for money at the end, and if you don't pay them, they'll start making a big scene, and so you feel bad and pay. And so that's just one thing to look out for. Blogs are a good starting point to find these scams. Just type into Google common scams in country and you'll usually find lists of the common scams. But Reddit is also a good place to look. Just make sure to take everything with a grain of salt, because sometimes people blow things out of proportion, and so don't let anyone's one story scare you away from a particular country. Tip 2 is to bring your own security, and this applies to pretty much any type of traveler except for maybe if you're just going on a quick vacation for a few days in a hotel. There are many ways to bring your own security, but the way we use is called a pack safe, travel safe. It's basically a lockable bag that's lined with metal mesh wire so you can't cut into it, and you can lock it up to things in your hotel room, in your bungalow, in your hostel, or wherever you're going. For digital nomads, this is obvious because you have expensive equipments and laptops that you can fit into there if there's not good security at where you're staying. But even for budget backpackers, you still have your passports and credit cards and extra stash money that you want to lock up if you're staying somewhere that doesn't have lockers, or staying somewhere like in a bungalow that doesn't have any security or anything. And even in like guest houses and Airbnbs, you never know who has the keys to your apartment. And I've heard stories of people who locked up their laptops and everything in an Airbnb to go out exploring for a day, and they come back and the Airbnb was just cleared out. And so if you have these types of things like the pack safe or a different product, you can give yourself an extra level of security, and you pretty much have a portable safe with you everywhere you go. Travel safety tip number 3 is to always cover your butt with travel insurance, and this one comes from direct experience. I got into a nasty motorcycle accident in Thailand, which is actually the reason we started this YouTube channel. You can check out our first video ever. Don't laugh at it because it's not that good up here. But if I wasn't covered by travel insurance, then I would have had to pay over $15,000 out of pocket in expenses. I have Safety Wing travel insurance to thank for covering all of those expenses, and also I have them to thank for sponsoring this video. I first started using Safety Wing about 3 years ago during my travels, and I've gotten to know the company pretty well thanks to all my sicknesses, injuries, and accidents on the road. They've always come through for me, and I even got a chance to meet some of their team recently at Nomad Fest, which I also made a video about. What I love about Safety Wing is they're constantly looking for new ways to upgrade their service and give their members more perks and benefits, and they have some really exciting things coming up the pipeline. I'll link to their roadmap in case you're interested in what they're coming out with next. Coverage costs as little as $1.50 per day, and you can start during your trip or before your trip, it doesn't matter, so there's really no excuse to not get covered. At the time of recording this video, they're actually running a really cool opportunity for you to earn extra money. If you refer your friends to sign up for Safety Wing insurance, you could win hundreds of dollars, but that opportunity is just for the next month or so, and so if you're interested in that, I'll link to the information down below. I'm also making a new video that compares some of the most popular travel insurance companies side by side to determine what plan is best for you based on the type of traveler you are. So make sure to subscribe if you're interested in that one. All right, on to tip number 4, and that is, it is okay to tell white lies. You meet a lot of different people when you're traveling, whether that be other travelers, locals, shopkeepers, taxi drivers, tour guides, whatever. And while most of these people are going to be awesome, that doesn't mean that you need to overshare personal information with them. If you start chatting up some street vendor or shop owner or any stranger really, there's no reason to share with them exactly where you're staying, what your exact itinerary is, or what your super high paying job is. you can keep those things to yourself. In certain situations, you might not even want to share what country you're from. If they ask, just be vague. Don't tell someone that you're staying at Bob's guest house over on Rodney Street. Instead, just say, I can't remember the name, but it's like 10 minutes this way. That's okay. And if someone asks for more specifics, you have permission to tell white lies. It could be that they're just curious and wanting to make friendly conversation, but maybe not. Tip number 5 is to learn from others, but do it the smart way. You're already doing this by watching this video, so nice work, but you should take it a step further. Similar to researching the common scams in a certain country or certain area, you can also research different safety tips for different areas. One good way to do this is to join Facebook groups for the destination that you're going to be traveling to and to ask your safety questions there. While this can be a good way to get useful information, just remember that social media is not always unbiased. On social media, people like to be experts, and sometimes you may get advice from someone who knows someone who knows someone who knows someone who had something happen to them once 10 years ago, and they pretend to be an expert on the subject. Other than social media, I also interviewed 15 veteran travelers who shared their craziest safety stories, and I'll link to that blog post down in the description below. Now you're probably wondering why I'm limping around the park making travel safety videos, and that brings me to my bonus tip. Whenever you're about to do something that has a risk of injury while you're traveling, always stop and think to yourself, how crappy would it be to get hurt right here, and is it worth it? If you're on Easter Island in the middle of the ocean, in the middle of nowhere, maybe you should think twice before climbing up that rock to get the epic selfie shot. But if you're near civilization, near good hospitals, maybe you'll be willing to take a little bit more risk. I'm limping right now because I sprained the crap out of my ankle playing volleyball in a small, tiny mountain town in Bulgaria. I'm lucky it wasn't worse because I've had many broken bones in that foot before. If I would have just asked myself, is it worth getting injured on the road? I probably would have adjusted how competitive I was playing. I probably wouldn't be in pain right now, and I wouldn't have to miss out on the epic hikes there are in this area. Guys, we also have an entire video playlist jam-packed with clever travel tips that we've picked up after traveling full-time for the past several years, so make sure to check that one out next. We'll see you later. Stay safe. Bye-bye.